Computer, bench on.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to the new workshop. It's taken a few weeks. I think, to be fair, I've probably been in here now for nearly 2 months, and I would say it's probably taken me a month to build and a month to get it up to speed. I've had a few lessons in here. It's been absolutely fantastic. But as you can see, it was a big empty space. It's quite a characterful building. It's an old concrete building built by Roger Bullivant. It's got some real feel, a lovely space to work, and it feels really, really creative. Had an idea of what I wanted, very specific on the layout, measured the space, worked out what I could fit in, and then started. And it's actually worked out how I designed it, which is unusual, because we can always design something and the first casualty of any project is usually the plan. But it's actually gone according to plan. I'm really, really pleased with it. So let's have a look around. Let's have a look at why I've done what I've done and see what you think. This is my space. I have 2 boards, have my bench in an L-shaped configuration. I'm really comfortable with this. This may not be the best way of having a layout, but it's something that I've got used to and I find it very, very comfortable. I've got all the tools that I'm using in reach. There is a familiarity to the other workshop, and I've brought that over because I've spent so long just reaching up and grabbing what I need that if I repeat that here, I can do the same thing. There may be so many better ways, and you might be looking at this and say, well, I do this and I do that, and I'll take ideas. Don't leave comments below about how to do it. Drop me an email. By all means, leave a comment if you would like to, but if you've got something you want to share with me, drop me an email, nigel@armitageleather.com. There's a link down below. So, I'm using 2 Hydroma boards. These are the hardest boards you can get that won't damage my knives. They're on the Sure Hardness scale of 78. They're both made of Hydroma. They're not cheap, but they are fantastic, and they will last me for the rest of my career. You can't wear them out. If you do scar up the tops to the point of that it's influencing the cuts or you're not happy with it anymore, I can send it off, have them shaved and brought back. And they're from a company called Partwell Plastics here in the UK. But you'll find Hydroma all over the planet if you Google it. So let's have a closer look at what I've got here and why I've got it set up that way. So here we have the left side of my bench. Cutting board in front of me. Currently, I've got a box stitching jig set up. 2 of these because I was teaching box stitching yesterday, but this can be swapped out. A tub stitching jig can go in, or a saddler's clam. I can have any combination, or take it off completely, and I've got a nice smooth bench. Here, I've got my drawers. Love these. Absolutely love the little drawers. The apothecary drawers is something that I really love. A whole wall of them would be fantastic, but just so much money. I have boxes and boxes of hardware all tucked under the big benches, but I don't want to rummage through those all the time. So what I do is go for a number of each item, stick it in the smaller boxes, and then I've got immediate access to them. I've got labels, and they've changed. I've turned them around and I've rewritten because I've swapped over. I need to do those again. But that is so convenient for me to be able to find exactly what I want, grab a buckle out, and we're good to go. It's also good for people to come along and rummage through. To the left-hand side, I've got this to the left and the right. You won't see the right-hand one, but to the left, I've got a magnet and I've got squares on there, and I've got a few more on this side as well. It just makes it really easy to get them out of the way, but you can find them. At the top, I've got some thread. As you look around the workshop, you'll see there's thread everywhere, but I've mainly got nylon. The vast majority on the right is Vinimo, and the stuff to the left is a combination of tiger thread, slam, and bodega from Brazil. So there's a lovely combination. There's lots of different threads to play with. This is the main body of my bench. Another hydroma board. This is red. Was having difficulty with the videos. I thought the white was a little too bleachy when I was making videos for the instructional, for Vimeo. So decided to get a red one to soften the background, and I thought that might punch the work out a little bit more. Still making a decision on that. Not entirely sure if red or white or even the cutting mat is the best, but we'll have a look. We'll keep playing. But this is where my tools all live. This is everything that I need to make stuff. I've got the board to play with, evidently. Loads of irons on the front. I've got iron reviews to do. At the moment, I've got some very exciting irons. Finally, thanks to Rocky Mountain Leather, I've got some Amy Rourke irons. I've got the new Crimson Hide French irons, and I've got Kevin Lee irons as well. So that's 3 more videos going up onto the pricking iron review. But that's by the by. I'll talk more about those when I get to them. Hole punches, awls, bevelers, knives, skivers, thread, pricking irons, clicker knives, edges, creases and purse creases, and there are other little bits and pieces scattered about with a few of the things that I've made. Some of them you'll recognise, some have been made for videos like the pouches, some are going to be videos, some have just been made for various reasons, but there's lots of stuff in here. I've got thread down here, it's thread everywhere, so much thread. So that's my bench. Without going through each individual tool, you get an idea of the sort of stuff I like by what's in front of me. And there is no one particular awl that jumps out, but out of all of them, I've got some amazing awls, amazing. I've got Crimson Hide awls, I've got Palo Santo awls, Ocado awls. Still fall back to the one that I've been using for well over 20 years. I think it's just familiarity more than the fact that it's better than any others. But yeah, this is my stuff. This is where I do my making. But this is only one very small part and only one reason for the workshop. So this side of the workshop is a direct mirror of my side. This is... It was designed as a workstation. Technically, I've got 10 workstations in here, but I'm only going to be using 8. So that's going to mean there's only going to be 8 students in the workshop at any one time. So I've sacrificed this workstation for some really important equipment. The splitter, for one. I've got a nice long run. If needs must, I can pull on that and get some straps done. The press is in here, speaker at the background. Through here is the kitchen, coffee machine, probably the first piece of equipment that was installed in the workshop and the most important. And then I've got a workstation here. It's a little littered, it's a little untidy. I am still settling where everything's going. I'm still working out where things are going on the wall. If I spin round, you'll probably get a better view. But I've started to put some racks up. Not happy with them, they're not staying. But it was playing with ideas. I've got some amazing tools that I want on display. It's like any of us, we spend the money on these amazing tools because they work for us, they produce the item. But if we have amazing tools, let's see them, let's put them out. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to, but it's not a quick thing. It seems it takes quite a long time to decide what the best way to display the tools is and then get them displayed. So that's just an idea at the moment, but I doubt very much it's going to look like that. In the end, it's going to get sorted. There's more symmetry to it. It's going to look a lot nicer. But this is one of the student stations. It's just a little overtaken by other stuff. Let's move down to where I make the videos. This is another station for students that I've taken over, and I can put all of this away when students come along. I've taken it over as my video station. And the reason behind this is we've got the lovely big window at the back there, letting in the natural light. And I've found that actually that's not sufficient. So I've ended up getting these two. Very funky, really nice LED lights. And you're not seeing it at its best. because the camera's down, the lights are off. So here's a quick look of what it looks like when it's all switched on. And we can see there that the lights are on, the camera's in situ, we've got the nice monitor in the background, and we can see there that it's going to be a lot easier for me, and hopefully the sound is going to be a lot better for making these videos, and everything's going to come together to give you more quality when I'm making the Vimeo videos. And the YouTube packs as well. And we can see there that, exactly like the other benches, we've got here saddler's clam set up. Each station is totally swappable. We can have nothing, saddlers, box or tub. I keep on mentioning the student stations, and they're all scattered with other bits and pieces. This is what they should look like. So every time we get somebody coming down, they've got the facility for one of the 3 clams or totally clear, the cutting mat, hammer, tools that they're going to need, and up here we've got the clicker's knife, pair of snips, dividers, scratch awl, set of irons, edge beveler, bit of tokenol, pulling block, couple of rules, rule stop, and there'll be a few other bits and pieces there as well. There's got some slickers that have got to go in there. But the idea is that when they come down, they don't have to share. Everybody's got all their own tools. And what I didn't really want to do is choke, because if I were to really look at this, I could actually probably squeeze 18 people into this workshop, 1 at each station. So we've got the 10 round the outside and 8 at the bench, but that's silly. Yes, you could stand in front, but you're going to feel like you can't move around. You've got no flexibility. So the idea behind this was that this person will be working here, so they can do whatever it is they do here, but then turn around and this is their workstation as well. So everybody gets 2 workstations, 1 at the big bench, so we can do our big cuts or our design or come together for a discussion or a bit of instruction, and then we can turn around and come back to our station where all our tools and equipment are. So that was the idea behind it. So we've got, you know, I think I worked out 24 square foot each, loads of space for people to turn around, and we can have all our cutting here and clam here, or cutting here and clam here, whichever way round anybody wants to do it, and we can reverse it for each one just for fun. But that's in essence, there's 8 of these scattered around, and we'll have a nice long shot and see what everything looks like. But that's pretty much all the stations looked at in detail. So let's have a look at where we store the goodies, and then we'll have a nice look at the centre bench. So here's the goodie rack. This is where all the fun actually begins. So I've got all of my leather rolled and in tubes. What you can't see are the tubes are too short for the rack, which means there's 6 inches at the back of the tubes which don't touch the wall. So that's letting the air circulate through the tubes. You also can't see that inside the sides stop short. That circulates the air as well. So whilst it's rolled, the air's circulating around the leather, because we notice that the little gaps appear. So it's not really sitting against itself that much. If it were laid flat and sitting on top, sitting on top, sitting on top, and that piece at the bottom never gets touched, if it went in damp, I might discover it's gone a bit mouldy. And I find that storing it rolled up in tubes with lots of air circulating around it, I'm okay. And I'm lucky insofar as this building's made of concrete, and concrete breathes. So there's lots of air circulating around in here. And hopefully this is a good way of storing it. So lots and lots of lovely leather. I've got bridle butt, bridle shoulder, a little bit of side even, you know, for panelling. Bit of goat, bit of pigskin, bit of suede, Patera, there's English, there's Italian, there's all sorts in here. It's predominantly English, predominantly Abbey and Crack, Metropolitan, 3 main places that I'd go to for the leather. And when you come down, have a look through, see what there is, and have a play. So this is my workshop. We've had a good rummage round, looked at all the different benches, and hopefully you get an idea, because I'm at one end and we've got 2 stations here, then we can have 3 more or 2 more, so we've got 3 on each side, 1 on the end, 8 round the outside, and we can all turn and go back to our respective places. So there's loads of space. And I know I'm a big unit and I tend to fill a space, so it may not look as big as it actually is, but it's huge. It's still a work in progress. I've got the benches and the centre bench where I want it, but I'm still developing it. I'm still looking at ways of getting my tools out, storing it, getting little trinkets, and over time it will begin to look better and it will begin to look used, but I don't think it'll look as good as it ever will until it's full of people. But this is my workshop. I hope you've enjoyed having a look around. If you've got any questions, drop me an email rather than leave a comment. Feel free to leave a comment by all means. But if you're asking me a question, I tend not to go back to YouTube that frequently and don't check it on a regular basis, so I won't see it. So drop me an email, and that's the most important thing if you need me to answer it. Okay, folks, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed showing you. I enjoy being here. I've been doing this game for 30 years and every day is an absolute joy, especially now to come to work. Take care.